salaries after leaving office. So we thought we should discuss this on the show as well. You know, this issue of why are you shaking your head, Betty?
You know why it's so painful? You know why it's so painful? Because these people really don't need the money.
You don't.
These people don't need the money.
Don't.
I was just coming to the show and I was discussing with my staff and I said, I just read something about Denuga's son who did a bidding for Chevron Netherlands. He wanted to buy a whole multinational oil company.
Wow.
And he bidded twice. And $100 million went into it. And I mean,
Just the bidding.
Yes, just to bid. And at the end of the day, he didn't get it. But it shows how brave he is, his business acumen and all of that. And on the other hand, I was thinking, say, oh my God, how I wish he would just give us $1 million. For the next 100 years, our organization is still operating. Because there's a lot to do with it, and then we'll build on it, and then we'll build on it. So, some of these people, but that's aside, the politicians, they've made enough money to last their 14 generations. So they really don't need this salary. So I hope that we can get through to this and then see how this can be stopped. Because pensioners are owed money. Teachers are owed in Benue, I think about 10 months or so. And people are dying. And then you that don't need the money, I'm not sure they even touched that money at all. So if we stop it, if we bring up a bill, a law, stopping the payment of our ex-political office holders, they're not going to die. And then more people will live. More people will be able to be paid salaries. Even people in the National Assembly, they're being owed salaries for like 4 months.
Workers.
And then people that are no longer in active service, we are servicing them. Which is very, very wrong. I'm not sure that it happens in any other parts of the world apart from Nigeria. This should be stopped.
I want to come in this way. I tell people every time we discuss politics and we discuss government, and I said, as far as I'm concerned, there are two political parties in Nigeria. Is it the rich and the poor? Is that how you belong to the political party of the poor or political party of the rich? Because all these people, you see, there's a connection. Let me tell you. Do you know how many former governors who are in the Senate today? Do you know how many senators?
Okay, so they are collecting as senators.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I'm even trying to drive. I want to paint a circle for you so you see why it's going to be very difficult. If you're going to make a law, probably you go to the Senate, National Assembly to make a law to stop that. The same National Assembly people want to be governor. So you cannot make a law that will affect
me when I come into.
So it's a circle. Those who are senators today become governors. Those who are governors
go back
so you see, it's that's why I say it's a political party of rich against the poor. I don't have problem with paying them for serving their state. I don't have issues with that. But what amount are you paying? Pensioners here, you serve the country, then you have your pension. They pay little money.
20,000,
yeah.
12,000.
Can we measure them as well? Let them take their own token. But the fact that you see people collect millions, billions, for what? And then you are a former governor and you left office. I know how many former governors today who are ministers. So they have whatever they got as former governors. They are sitting ministers. They still take for sitting ministers. Some of the states says they give a house to the former governor in Abuja. And Lagos also, I think that quite
and all the other perks, that comes with.
Now, the same man who you gave a house from government money in Abuja is a minister. Then he gets another house from government for being a minister. What are you doing with it in a country where we can't? Some children can't go to school.
Exactly, or can't even eat 3 square meals.
I tell people, we have to accept that we have failed as a people. Let me tell you why. Each time I move around Lagos, I have a feeling that our past leaders were far more better than we are today. You know why?
Why?
You walk across the road, you see old taps. I don't know if you've seen them.
Old
taps. You see them.
Even though they are not working.
But it tells you that there was a time
when the system worked. True. Okay. I recall when I was growing up, as a kid with pants, don't let your imagination on the streets and all that. We used to fetch water from the streets, street taps. You're coming back from school, you stop by and drink water. And
at what point did we start drilling boreholes?
Very true.
The system failed.
Very true. Very true.
There was a time when you want to make call, the phone booths are there.
Yes.
You get cards.
Yes.
it was a thinking that said, oh, let's provide these things.
So there was a time really when
things worked.
When things worked.
And do you think we could as well still go back to that time?
I think so. Because we have the human resources.
With the youth?
It's just for the right persons to be in policy-making positions.
But don't you think the change actually our leaders need to have that change orientation first of all? Because the minds of the youth out there, they're actually polluted.
Let me tell you.
No, you don't give up. I'm not sure that there are outstanding youths. Youth that are different, that would typically say have not bowed their heads to bar and all of that. And so we can seek out those youths, and we can ensure that they take they get into positions, policy making positions, positions of power. It's just for us to get these people and then ensure that we empower them, because it comes to a time in the country when you've looked at it, you looked at the global shame and embarrassment and say, we have to really make this work. And it's in our hands as a people. I think we can make it work. You know, I really want to be very, very optimistic that things can work again.
What you call leadership, to me, is when the people you are leading, they should eat before you eat. That's true. It has been the other way around all this while. The leaders will eat, whether you eat or not, it's not a problem.
All right, let's look at how people are reacting. This one says they should stop receiving salaries. After all, they've made more than enough. That's why the money isn't circulating. Okay, the man among you there, the man among you there, that's you, Chooks. God will bless you for this talk. I think the person is in agreement with everything you've been saying. I think it is very wrong because the poor people are crying. Turuchi from Umuahia sent that one. Well, it's a lot of talk here. People are really getting passionate about this issue, you know, because there are lots of people who are without, and, you know, the basics. The basics. People just want the basics. And then we have a lot of money going into pockets. I don't want to say they're already full. I don't, you know, that's like one way of looking at it and all of that. I don't know why, like you asked, why we have to keep servicing someone who was serviced while in office. Now you're out of that office and we're still servicing you. Meanwhile, someone else has taken your place, we're still servicing. So it's like we're replicating. Do you get what I mean? And all of that. It is a really...
to change this is going to be difficult.
Very difficult. Like you said, it's a vicious circle.
It's a circle.
Yeah.
So.
All right, our time is fast moving. I think we have less than 3 minutes now, but we still have one more topic. Bring home your ideas, Peter Obi tells Nigerians in the diaspora. Former Anambra State Governor Mr. Peter Obi has called on Nigerians in diaspora to develop full interest in what happens in the nation. Basically, he's talking about investing in Nigeria. Now, Chooks, if you were outside the shores of this country and looking into this country, you know, from where you are, do you think Nigeria is where you actually dream of coming back to and investing, you know, all of your ideas and your resources in?
You know the truth is that as bad as this country is, there are opportunities. I tell you, was it 2 years ago, I ran into a Nigerian, he's a Yoruba guy, I can't remember his name, but they came in with some farmers from Netherlands, the partners, and they wanted to set up a potato farm somewhere in Kaduna and then in Jos. And they've sat down and they thought of it and said, look, we are going to Nigeria to do potato farm. But you know, they have this system that's very interesting system. They are going to have a plant in the farm to process the potato, so they're going to do all your French fries and all those, and then they export it.
Wow. So it's like a whole value chain.
It's a whole value chain, and then the farm is as big as whatever you can think of. They have one in Kaduna. I try to remember the name. They have one in Kaduna, and the other one is in Jos. And they've tested the soil to see that this is the best place to go. There are opportunities, but sometimes the challenges are also the infrastructure. You want to get into this thing, so how do you get power? How do you get this?
And all that,
and then you know the interesting thing the guy told me when I was talking about. I said, you are doing your farm. How do you deal with this herdsmen that we talked about going into farm to destroy the crops? And he said, we just dug like They made irrigation round.
Round,
so
okay.
they put water there. That's the same water they used to water the farm.
Wow.
So he said the cattle will only come there, drink, and go back.
And go back. All right, Betty, your take very quickly because of our time.
I think I buy Chuk's idea, and it's really, really interesting. I believe that millions of Nigerians in diaspora want to come back home, but they need like a convenient
enabling environment.
And enabling environment,
Very true.
both from government and the society. And I've forgotten the figure, but Senator Bemre Bruce tweeted earlier in the week, or was it last week, about how many billions of dollars Nigerians abroad bring home every year. That they remit to the country every year, and I believe they are ready to do much more than that in terms of business investment. The government has to make the environment business friendly.